Hello and welcome to the sixth tutorial in this series, and today we're going to learn how to finalize this model. We're going to add windows to it, we're going to add railings here, we're going to add a cover in this part, and we're going to give a V-Ray material to the walls. So let's get started. First thing I want to do is I want to add a railing to this balcony. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to go to the top viewport, and let's see in the front viewports, in the front plans, how the railing looks. So we have a railing here that starts from this concrete part, which is here in our model. So it starts from the concrete, goes up, and there's like a closing metallic part on top. So let's see how high this railing is. I'm going to create a box in order to see that. So the railing is 92 centimeters above the concrete. So 92 centimeters. Let's make it 91 because we have this holding, metal holding. So 91 centimeters. Let's go to the top viewport, and I'm going to create this railing. Let's see. What I want to do is I want to hide the elements that are above this balcony, so they don't interfere when I'm in the top viewport. So I'm going to right click and hide selection. I'm going to go to the top viewport, and here we go. This is the concrete which the railing sits on, and let's create a 91 centimeter high glass. So I'm going to start using a line, F3 to see through in wireframe. I'm going to create one. When I hold shift, the line goes in a straight line. So I'm going to go here, continue here, and F3, finalize the line here. To finalize the line, I clicked the right mouse button. Now I'm going to take my line up here, and I'm going to give it a height of 90 centimeters and a thickness. The way I'm going to do this, I'm going to go to the rendering setup in the modify panel for this line. I'm going to enable these two, enable in viewport and enable in rendering. Now it's transformed the line into a cylinder form, which is because we're on radial. When I click on rectangular, what this does, it gives height of 6 centimeters, or how much you want, and a thickness is here 2 centimeters. So the glass is going to be something like 1 centimeter thick, and the height is 91 centimeters. So now let's take this up. So the bottom part is touching the concrete, something like here. This is fine. So this is going to be our glass. I'm going to continue the glass. I'm going to click on line once, or go to the plus and choose vertices. I'm going to choose this vertice here. I'm going to move it to our wall in the top viewport, something like this is our wall. So I'm going to finish these rail here. And on the other side, same thing. I'm going to take this and continue it until I hit the wall. So like so. Okay, so now we have our glass. Now I want to add the metal thing on top, the railing itself, the holding of the rail. So I'm going to shift drag this line up, and I'm going to create a copy of it. And now I'm going to go to the radial. So this creates a circle. The thickness of the circle is here, so I'm going to give it a thickness of something like 5. Let's put it on top of the glass. Let's go to the front viewport and put it on top. So the height of our cylinder here, cylinder holding, is 5 centimeters high. If I go to the top viewport, let's go to our front plan. Let's see if this is 5 centimeters also. Yeah, this is 5 centimeters also. So the thickness is right. Let's see. Alright, so we have our railing. I'm going to select the top part and the glass. You know what, I'm going to select the glass and rename it to glass rail, and I'm going to choose this top part and name it metal rail. Now I'm going to choose both of them. I'm going to group them into a group named rail, and let's give it an outline black and the material, the temp material we're using. So now we have a railing here. Let's unhide everything so we can see this top part here. Next thing I want to do is, let's see what more details we can create here. Okay, so we have this wall here that covers this part of the stairs, because I need to remind you that the floor starts from here. This is the basement level, so we essentially have like an aquarium closed here. So I'm going to add these wall here and this wall here. Let's start from this side. I'm going to choose the plan, isolate selection, and I'm going to create this wall. So let's go to line. I'm going to add snap toggle, and let's snap the lines. So the wall is till here. This part here is a little bit confusing, but I spoke to the architect. It goes to this point. This is just a mistake here. So I'm going to continue. Don't mind the form of the line being a cylinder. I'm going to change it in a second. So snap here and close spline, yes. Enable and enable. Disable these both because I want to use it as a line, not as a cylinder. And I'm going to add a shell modifier to it to give it a height. Let's give it a height of 300, so 3 meters for now. Let's get the building back and let's see. If we go to the front viewport, and I want to see this part of the building, so this is here. So this part is the wall we just created. So the height of this wall from the bottom part where the door begins is, let's create this box to see, 330. Yeah, this is the height, 338. Let's go back to the box, give it a height of 338. This is fine, and let's see that the beginning is where the door begins. So if I go to the front viewport, I can see that our door begins in the same height like the wall. So this is the correct height. Next, I'm going to give it an outline of black and the base material. For now, I'm going to create the cover on this side here. Let's choose the plan, isolate selection, and I'm going to go over the lines here. So line, and from this point to here, and it closes like so. This continuation here is going to be our wooden floor for the back part of the house. I'm going to build it in a second. For now, I'm just building the walls that cover the stairs to the basement. Now let's give it height same as the other side of the house, 338. Okay, so the shell modifier remembers. Now let's see, if we go to this view, we can see that this was the wall that we created on the other side of the house, and this is on this side of the house. So let's see if it's also 338. From the bottom part to the top, 352. It's higher, and that's because the ground here is a little bit higher than on this side. So 352. Let's go to this wall and give it 352 height, so it's higher. Okay, so now we have a cover for our stairs. That is fine. Let's give it an outline of black and a gray color for now, a base color. Okay, next thing I want to do is I want to add this cover here. It's like a flower pot and it closes off the stairs. So we have one here on this side, and we also have one here on this side. So let's just go over the lines. Let's see on this side how it looks. Actually, we can't see it here, so let's try. Okay, let's build it, and then we'll see in AutoCAD. Maybe I can get the height from the original file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the plan, isolate, go to the top viewport, and again I'm going to build this like flower pot here. So I'm going to go to line, go over these lines here, and close. Same thing on the other side. So I'm going to start from here, close off this R shape. So we have a mistake here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this polygon here and I'm going to move it to this point here using the snap tool. Okay, now we have the closing of the stairs. Let's unhide everything and hide the plan so we can see these lines we created. I'm going to select the first line, I'm going to attach it to the second one, and now to see the height, because I do not see these forms here on the sides of the house or in the front, so I need to check in the original AutoCAD file. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open the AutoCAD file. Let's go to the first tutorial. I think we have the AutoCAD here. Yeah, here it is. This is the file you have in the description below, so you can check it out also. Let's see now. We have first floor here. As you can see, there's vegetation. This part and this part we just built. Do we have heights here? Actually, I don't see heights. Might be wrong. 1 second. Well, we actually don't have the heights of these vegetation parts here. So if you stumble across a problem like this one, you just need to call the architect and tell him, listen buddy, you didn't give me the height that I need, and he will just give you the height that you need. So don't worry about that. For now we're going to, let's say, guess the height of this. It's no big deal, so I'm going to give it a height of, let's say, 200 for now, just to check out what we can do. Alright, so the top part of this form needs to touch the top part of the stairs. That's because the stairs are going beneath ground, so this is the ground level, as you can see. No, this is the ground level, but the ground becomes higher as you go to the back side of the house. So what we need to do is we need to create this cover here. I'm going to take it up using this point here, so it touches not the bottom part, the top part is going to touch here. So this point, the top part here, is the top part of the stairs. That's my best guess for this scenario. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to close them off to the wall here and close them off to the wall here. So let's convert this to editable poly and take these points here, back here, and take them to the house. So this is the first one, that is fine. The second one actually goes and touches the house on this part, so it's fine. Next thing I want to do, I want to take these points here, unsnap toggle, just take them back a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add another polygon so I can take him back to the wall on this side. So I'm going to select this polygon here. I'm going to extrude it by 7 centimeters. I think it needs to be like a square here. So I'm guessing it's 10 centimeters. Yeah, that's fine. And we're going to take this polygon here and take him back to the house. So I just extruded 10 centimeters. And I'm going to click on snap toggle and move this polygon to the house itself. This point is the point of the wall. Alright, so now we have a closing on the side of the stairs. They don't quite reach the stairs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select all these vertices and move them on the y-axis to the stairs, so that the highest point here is touching the lowest point of the stairs, so they just touch each other. So that's fine. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So I'm going to extrude this polygon by 10, and I'm going to take this polygon here and extrude it by 10 also, and then just move it to the line of the wall. So this is here. And now I'm going to click these vertices, click on y-axis, and just move them only on the y-axis so they touch the top part of the stairs, like so. Alright, we don't need to close the bottom part of this element, and that's because we're going to have a patch of grass on top here. So we're going to have a grass on top, so whatever lies in the bottom doesn't really matter. This is fine. Let's call it stairs closing, and give it an outline, black and base color. That's fine. Let's see what else we need to add to this form. Okay, I think that's it. Everything else is going to be the grass and the wooden floor here and everything that is on the ground. The building itself is essentially done, except this little roof over the stairs, which we're going to add later. What I want to add now is windows and doors. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to model the windows and doors again, because I already did that in the interior modeling and rendering tutorial in this channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import the windows and the glass doors from the interior tutorials. And if you want to follow me on modeling these parts, you just need to go to the interior tutorials in this channel, to the class about window and door modeling. So in order to import the windows from the model I already created, I'm going to go to Max, Import, Merge, because I want to merge an object into this scene. I'm going to go to the directory in which I have the windows. I think it was tutorial 6. That's fine, we have the windows and the doors here. And I'm going to click on this file. Now it asks me which object from the file do I want to import here. So we have a background here, a camera, a ceiling, floor, a plan, rail, and V-Ray lights and walls. So I'm guessing that the windows are these three objects. I think I just chose the earlier tutorial in which I didn't name the windows and doors yet. So I'm going to choose all three objects here. I'm going to click OK and import them into this scene. Now they were imported in this side, so as you can see, that's fine. We have two windows, 1, 2. I'm going to delete one of them because I'm going to copy this one a lot. And we have this door that will lead to the balcony in our building. I'm going to click on both of them. So click on one, control, click on the other. Now it shows both of them. And I'm going to move them to our building here. So let's see in the front. We have essentially all windows except the really thin ones are two-parters, like the ones we created for the room. I can't see a two-parter on in the basement level, but this window is way too long to be a one-parter, so it must be a two-parter. The architect just didn't add lines in the center. So all the windows I can see except the thin ones, and these windows near the balcony here are two-parters, so we can start adding them to the plan here. I'm going to select the window, this one. This is the door. Let's move it aside for a second and click F3 to see the window itself. As you can see, these details we created for the interior material, the interior tutorial, are only on this side, and that's because the other side was the exterior and we don't care about that. And now we have an opposite way of thinking. We need the details to be on the outside of the building, so we don't care about the inside. So I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees so that the details are going to be facing outwards of the building. Now I'm going to go to the let's see, front viewport, and I'm going to place them. Let's click here and click on realistic so that we can see black shadows where the windows are, because if you're not on realistic, it's very hard to see where the windows are and where the walls are. So let's go to realistic, that's fine, and I'm going to place. Now these two windows are the windows that are closest to the balcony, so they are not two wings windows, so we're going to leave them alone. Let's start with this one here. I'm going to add a window. I'm going to click on vertices and just make it bigger. The reason I'm not just using this scale and uniform scale tool and just do this is because when I do this, everything scales uniformly. So you can see that the sides of the window become very thick and the top part of the window remains the same. So that's no good. What we need to do is move all the vertices on the side of the window. So I'm going to select the vertices and I'm going to move them to this side here, so it's just over the opening. The bottom part is just over the opening also, and let's take the top part up so it's just over this opening. Now the center needs to be in the center for obvious reasons, so what we're going to do is create a box here. Let's hit F3, and I'm going to add width segments to it so I can see that the segment is exactly in the center of the box I created. And now I can just choose these vertices in the center and move them here to this line. If we move them down, you can see that's exactly in the center. Control Z to undo that. Okay, so now our window is aligned. Now I need to take it back into the window itself. Just click on move. On the y-axis, move it back, like so. Now, let's place it in the window itself. If we look in the interior here, let's do shaded. Okay, so now I put a camera inside of the building. That's because I want to place the window correctly. So I'm going to take on the y-axis only, take it back a little bit so it covers the wall just a little bit inwards. And as you can see, you have like a little piece of space between the window and the exterior wall, which is fine. This is how it's supposed to look. Now the other thing is I want to add like a bottom part to this window where you can put plants and things like that. So I'm going to go to the front viewport again. I'm going to create a box here. So this bottom part of the window, let's hit F3 to see it. Bottom part of the window is supposed to be a little bit to the sides from the window itself, like 5 centimeters here and 5 centimeters here, and it needs to go out from the wall. So first thing, the thickness of this is something like 3 centimeters. That's normal thickness of this part here. Now I need to move it to place because it was built in the center of the building. So let's move it here. Alright, so it needs to be, let's go to the front again, 5 centimeters to each direction and outwards. So we have 5 centimeters, like so. Let's move this from the window. Let's right click, convert to editable poly, and let's take the vertices out, like this. Alright, and let's take this 5 centimeter box to the other side and pull it out here. So that's fine also. Now let's see what else. We need to pull it from the wall 5 centimeters. First of all, I'm going to delete this helper box. Then I'm going to create a box from the wall 5 centimeters outwards. In order to create a box on an object, you need to click the auto grid here. And now what it does, it builds, if I build here, it builds from this this polygon. Let's delete it. If I build from this polygon, it will go outwards exactly from this polygon. So I need to go outwards 5 centimeters, like so. Now let's pull it out 5 so it aligns. This is fine. And last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select these vertices inside of the window and just pull them inwards until they get to the end of the window inside of the house. So that's fine. Now in order for it not to be this sharp, I'm going to add chamfer to it. I'm going to select all the edges of the box we created and chamfer it by 0.25. Something like this is fine. Alright, so now you have a ledge of the window. Let's name it ledge and give it a black outline and the base material. Now I'm going to add this to this window object. So what I'm going to do is, let's name it window double, because it's a double window, and this one is the ledge. I'm going to control select both of them and group them in window. Alright, okay, so now it's going to get easier. I'm going to go to the front viewport and just shift drag it to the next window. As you can see, the opening is exactly the same like this one, so we don't need to change the proportion. Just going to change it back to realistic, so we can see the black inside of the house and we see where the windows are. Now the placement of this window is fine. This is a thick window, it's not a double window. So I'm going to go over this one to this window, shift drag to the end. Again, the window opening is exactly the same as this one, which is good for us. We don't need to change anything. So now we have 3 windows. I'm going to select this one and shift drag it down to this window in the first floor. So this one is fine also. Let's see if the first floor is aligned to the second one. It's a little bit, the second one is a little bit bulging from the wall, so the window is misplaced in the y-axis, so I need to move it back. Let's go inside, let's go to shaded mode and move inside and place this window like so, just a little bit inside. That's fine. Okay, so this is for the first floor. That's because, again, the second floor and the first floor are not exactly aligned, so that's fine. This one is a big window, so let's see in the top viewport in the plan how it looks. Okay, so it's a big window, but it's still a double. So let's go to the front viewport. I'm going to move it here. Let's go back to realistic mode. And let's make the window bigger. So I'm going to open this group. I'm going to select these vertices and move them to this side here. And now the center needs to go into the center. Same thing I did with this window. I'm going to create a box from this line. I'm going to stick with the auto grid because the box will be created on the wall. So this is good for us. I'm going to create a box from this point to this point. And I'm going to add a width segment to it. And now I can see the center of the window. So now let's pick these vertices in the center and just move it here. That's fine. Last thing, I'm going to take the ledge, these vertices of the ledge, the left ones, and just take them out. So they're about 5 centimeters out. This is great. Close. Alright, so now we have the big window, the smaller one here, all the double windows on top. And these windows are different, so I'm not going to put them yet. We also have, let's hide this stairs cover. We also have 2 windows here. As we said, they're in the plan. They don't look like double windows, but you can bet that this wide of windows need to be double. So I'm going to just go to the front viewport and go with my senses and just shift drag here to copy this window to the bottom part here and create this window as a double. So the width of the window is fine, but it's shorter. So first thing I'm going to do is shift drag it again to this place here. And now I'm going to align the windows so that they will be aligned to the openings in our basement. Before I do that, I want to see that the basement is perfectly aligned with the first floor, which it is. So the placement of the windows in the y-axis, this X, are fine. Now I'm going to go back to the front viewport. I'm going to select this window and open the group. Just again take these bottom vertices here so that they are aligned with the opening. This is fine. I'm going to take these handles, take them up a little bit so that they will be about in the center of the window, which is good. Now the ledge, take it up like so. And let's close this group. This is aligned. Next thing, group open. Take this bottom part just a little bit up, like so. The ledge a little bit up, like so. And maybe just a little bit more, because the ledge covers the bottom part, so like this. And close. Alright, so now we have, I think, all the double windows in this side of the house. Let's see. We have this one, this one, this one, both of these, and these. Okay, so these little windows and these long, tall windows are a different kind. Also this one. So let's continue to the other side of the house and to the front of the house. As you can see, in the front of the house we have 2 windows, double windows on top here, and 2 on the bottom here. So let's align those. Going to go to the perspective viewport. Take this window here, shift drag it here, make a copy and rotate it 90 degrees. Now I want to see it from this direction. So this direction is the right direction. I'm going to go to perspective and click right. Now I'm going to put these windows here. This is the first one. The opening is exactly aligned. And shift drag the other one, also exactly aligned. And now I'm going to drag them back. You know what? No, before I do that, as you can see, the first floor and the second floor on this side of the house is exactly aligned. So I can create a copy. Let's go to the right viewport again, which is the front of the house. I can create a copy of this, shift drag, and place it up here. And when we move all the windows back, because the front of the house is aligned on both levels, all the windows will move into place. So let's place it here. This is great. Shift drag to this side, and that's fine. Okay, now let's take them back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take them back here. I'm going to go back to shaded because I want to see it from the other side of the wall. Let's just go back here. It's a little bit difficult to align this correctly, but here we go. I can see the inside of the house with the windows. This is my gizmo, so I can move it back and forth. I need to place it just a little bit inside of the house, like so. And they are aligned. Okay, so now we have these windows here. We also have these two and these two on the sides. Let's see what those are. So you cannot see them in the front viewport, and that's because you have like a cover here that we're going to build. But what I can see is in the plan. So I'm going to go to the second floor, and you can see here that this window, it doesn't seem like a double window, but none of them are. So the architect just didn't draw the right windows in place. But from the width of the window, I can see that these two are double windows, and this one is a single window to the bathroom. So I'm going to create these as doubles. Let's go back to right viewport. I'm going to take this window. Let's go back to realistic. These are the openings. Shift drag to the opening. Let's go to the perspective and take it back. So let's take it as a shaded. And on the x-axis only, take it back. Let's hit zoom extended so it zooms into the window. Now I can rotate myself inwards and place the window on the x-axis just inside the house, like so. Okay, this is fine. Let's go back. The window is too wide, so I need to make it smaller. I'm going to go back to the right viewport. And let's open the group. Take the left side of the vertices to here. And the center needs to be in the center, so let's create a box again. From this point to about this point. Okay, so this is the center. I'm going to move these center vertices to the center. Something like this. And delete the helper box. So now you can see that the window is in place, and let's make the ledge same. Right viewport, ledge here. Alright, so let's close this and move it to this side because we have another opening on the mirror side of the house. So we have like one here, one here. That's great. These windows are not double, so I'm not going to touch them for now. Also, these ones I need to check out for a second. I think they're single windows. Okay, so this is the plan of the basement. We have a kitchen here and a kitchen here. I think maybe they are double windows, but let's get back to them in a second. What I want to do is I want to create this exactly the same thing I created here on the other side of the house. So I'm going to take this window, control click 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and I'm going to click on rotate and shift rotate 180 degrees. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it back here. Alright, and now I'm going just to place them in place. So don't worry about them not being in place on the y-axis. I'm going to fix that later. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select 1, 2, 3, go to the back viewport, and hit realistic so I can see the black parts of the interior of the house, and just place the windows. This one is fine, this one also, this one is here. I could have used the mirror function in order to mirror from that side to this one, but I find it, I don't know, just it sometimes makes problems for me, the mirror modifier. Just changes the back side or the front side of the polygons and things like that. And it doesn't take long to do what I did now, so I'm just going to do that. Now let's hide this wall that covers those stairs on this side, and let's take this window here. And 1 second. Yeah, okay, so this one is here, and this one longer one is on this side. Great. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm going to go to the shaded, and I'm going to move them back inside. So I want to see the window from the other side. Let's just rotate it a little bit. Okay, so this one is fine, and I'm just gonna move on the y-axis like so. This is good, aligned, everything is fine on this side of the house. So now let's see if these are double windows. If so, I'm going to place them, and next we're going to place these exits to the balcony and this exit to the garden in the back here. So let's see in the top viewport, front viewport. Okay, so we have a window here. Seems like a one-parter, but let's see. Let's create a box, not using the outer grid, to see the width of this window. The width of this window is 110. So it could be a double window. Again, if you have questions like that, if it's a double window or just one window, you need to call the architect that sent you the plan and ask him. In this instance, I'm just teaching you how to create this house, so I'm not going to ask anybody. I'm just going to assume this is a double window, and just take this one. Let's hide this and this for a second, and go to the right viewport to see the front of the house. And I'm going to do the shaded thing, the realistic thing, I'm sorry, and just shift drag the window down here. Okay, so let's place the bottom at the bottom of the window like so. This is fine, and I'm going to open the group. I'm going to take these vertices down like so. I'm going to move these ones here and these ones here, so that the center is still in the center. Let's just check this, if the center is indeed in the center. Like so. Alright, so yeah, it's in the center. This is fine. I'm going to make this ledge smaller on the sides, about 5 centimeters to the side. I'm not doing it exactly 5 centimeters because I can see from view it's about 5 centimeters, and there is no way we were going to see this window in the rendering, just maybe the top of it, so I'm not going to spend time on it. Just let's take this a little bit down here like so, and let's close and copy this one to here, exactly the same size, and I think they're aligned on the x-axis because the basement and the first floor are aligned. Alright, so now we have these windows too. Let's unhide everything and see what we have here. So, okay, let's make it shaded. We have the double windows covered in all the house. Oh, maybe here we have more double windows. Let's see. Top viewport, on the roof. No, they're just windows, like static windows. You cannot open them though, so they are different kind. Okay, the double windows are covered. Next we're going to place these glass doors in the exit to the balcony and in the exit to the garden. So let's do that. I'm going to hide this railing for now, and let's hide this one for now because it will help me to see the openings. I'm going to take this, let's call it a glass door, balcony, and I'm going to move it in front of the back side of the house, so about here. Now I'm going to rotate it. The details need to be on the exterior, so I'm going to rotate it like so, 90 degrees. And now I'm going to go to this left viewport so I can see the openings. Again, I'm going to do realistic so I can see the openings clearly. And let's just take this door and place it, the bottom part here. We have, if we go to the perspective, we have two doors here. Now, if we look in AutoCAD or even on the top viewport here, we can see that the exit to the balcony is 3 doors. I'm sorry, the exit to the first floor, to the garden, is 3 doors, glass doors, and the top one is 2 doors. So we're going to create the top one, which is fine with us, the 2 doors. So let's go to the left viewport. Just place it up here. Place it in the opening. Take it down a little bit, like so. And make this opening bigger so it touches the side of the opening. Next thing I'm going to do is I want to take this door, the left one. Okay, it's already selected from the previous tutorial, the interior one, which we moved the door, so it's fine. I'm going to go to the left viewport. If it's not selected, just select the entire left door. So you can select 1, Control select 2 and 3, but you can just select everything like so. So now I'm going to take it to the left because I want the doors to be closed. I want the interior to be as less visible as I can. So I'm going to close the door. The reason I don't want the interior to be visible, because in this instance we're not going to create the interior of the house. The architect just wants to see the exterior. So we just created a bunch of walls inside, but no details. So I don't want doors to be open. Alright, so this is fine. Now let's place this center column in the center of our door. So I'm going to create a box. This is the center of the door. Just select the door, select the center vertices and move them to the center like so. Alright, let's delete the helper box and let's move this door inward into the building. Go to shading mode and move it back on the x-axis only here. Okay, as you can see, it doesn't touch the floor. We're going to fix it in a second. Let's see inside. Okay, so I'm going to place it like so. And now let's go to the left viewport and just take this bottom part. As you can see, the actual floor of our balcony is here, not here. This is the top of where the rail sits. So I need to take all these vertices down here. This is great. Alright, so now it's goes till the floor. Now another thing that I know from experience is that these kinds of doors are actually go till the end of the wall. So they're not placed like windows, so you have a margin here. They are placed like so. They also go till the end from the inside of the house, but we don't care about that because we're only creating an exterior visualization like so. So we need to see the exterior correctly. So this is fine, it is placed correctly now. I'm going to go to the left viewport and go to realistic and move this shift drag, creating a copy on this side. Also we have 2 windows here. I think they are double. Let's see. No. Okay, so they are not double windows. Now let's move it to place like so. This is great. Okay, so now we have the glass exit doors. And next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create these doors down here, which are consisted of 3 glass doors. So I'm going to take this glass door down. I held shift and dragged, so I'm creating a copy. Now I'm going to move it on the x-axis out and go to the left viewport, do realistic again so I can see the opening, and place it in place. Alright, so this is the opening. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to elements, and what the door that I closed is the door that is selected because it remembers the last selection. Now I'm going to detach it from the other form. Doesn't matter what its name is because I'm going to reattach it very soon. And now I'm going to choose these vertices on the side here and move it till the end of the opening. The reason I detached this is because I wanted to choose these vertices quickly and not start choosing the other vertices from the door. For instance, if I were not to disconnect, I cannot choose only the vertices of the side panel. I would move everything with the door itself. So in order to avoid this, I selected the door, detached it, and just moved the vertices on the side panel. So like so. Okay. Now I need to create 3 exactly same doors in order to populate this opening. So I'm going to select this door on the left. I selected everything essentially, just now Alt deselect this and deselect Alt deselect this element on the side. So only the door is left. Detach. Fine. Now let's create a box to see how much distance we need. So we're going to need 3 doors, so 1, 2, 3. This is the exact same widths. So I'm going to make this door bigger. Let's make it bigger like so. So it is aligned with this line here. I'm going to take this door to the side so it's aligned with this door and make it bigger so it's aligned with the next line like so. And the last thing I'm going to do is copy this door again to the end here like so. I shift drag to copy. So now what happens is we have a door that is out here, a door that is out here, and a door that is in the center. So essentially the person that wants to go out can move the door to this way, or move the center to each way he wants. So let's see. This holder needs to be on the other side because the person that opens the door opens it from here and from here. So I'm going to mirror this. Let's go to the left viewport. I'm going to go to hierarchy, effect pivot only because the pivot is up here. It's not centered to the door. I'm going to effect pivot only and center to object. So now the pivot is centered. The reason I'm going to do this is because now when I mirror, it will mirror from this pivot point. So it mirrors from the center. I need to mirror on the y-axis, so it's like so. It just mirrors it to the other side. This is great. Let's go in and let's see what we have here. Let's go to shaded mode. Okay, let's choose the frame, the glass door balcony 2, glass door garden. Okay, and now let's reattach all the doors, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and now we have a 3-potter door, glass door, that we can place in place here. Okay, let's go back to the left viewport and delete this helper box. And I'm going to shift drag it to this side to create the other opening. Let's go to realistic and move it to place like so. Alright, so now we have all these glass doors and we have the double windows all placed and aligned. Let's get back everything. Okay, so this is enough for this tutorial because it's getting very long. In the next tutorial I'm going to complete adding the windows, the 1-potter windows here and the 1-potter windows here and on top here. And we're finally going to start to add V-Ray materials to the model and V-Ray materials to the grass and things like that. So I'll see you in the next tutorial, and thanks for watching as always.